Real quick, you see most of our runners doing what's called arm pumping, where if you tap L or R to aim while you're moving, it shifts you forward a pixel. You're not actually moving faster, but it comes to the same thing. Got the single arrow on Lake Hylia Island. Not sure what Maximum Barnage is doing. Possibly debate. Oh, it looks like his stream froze. Ooh, more ball bombs at Link's house. All right, we got a matchup from Brettingham Void. I saw a crystal at Eastern, and I think a crystal at Desert, and then a pendant at Hera.
Yep, meanwhile we have Maximum Barnage going down and checking those 2 checks in Brunstone. We have, of course, our Vanilla Morph Ball, and the Ceiling E-Tank is in logic for hard modes because of the damage boost you can do.
Aussie finds the high jump boots in the moat. I didn't see what Barnage saw at the Morphball pedestal.
It looked like it was just an E-Tank.
Ongbo gives us the flute. That's some good early game. That's good value early game. And the ceiling E-Tank is just 5 rupees for Barnage. We've also seen a couple levels of tree pull. I saw an 8 bombs and I saw small magic. All right, looks like Barnage is going to go ahead and take that E-Tank for the time being and then head back up the hard way and head into Link to the Past.
Ozzy's taking those bombs into the back of Escape.
Wouldn't this be the front of Escape?
Yeah, it would be. In fairness, it's my bedtime in an hour, so forgive me if I say some silly things.
You're fine. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, to me, front of Escape and back of Escape doesn't. That naming convention doesn't make sense to me. I call it the castle dungeon, and then I call the back part the escape. Right, so how about? Okay, first shield in the Thieves' Hideout for Metroid MST. Looks like Bressingham is about to check the Lumberjack ledge. Looks like just a red rupee.
Yeah, so it doesn't rule out an Aga required seed because we may still need Aga to get towards the Dark World at some point later on.
Aussie finds the ice beam in the dungeon area, that's always nice. Means that he won't need to farm for power bombs to take care of the Metroids when we get to the end game. Sanctuary's got the small key. So what else can be left in the dungeon area?
So I don't think we've found a map. So there is a potential for the map, or if not, there's another couple of items. Because we do have the chest before the door at Dark Cross, which is out of logic because we don't want the lamp, but I'm sure that's not going to be an issue for Ozzy.
All right, Metroid MST has reached Kakariko Village. Checking the chicken hut at this point. Maximum Barnage does the Houlihan room glitch, which is what happens when the game doesn't know where to send you. Did that by desyncing the position from the screen with the repeated jumps into the water. That's a free 225 rupees once per game. Now, all rise for the Hyrule National Anthem that Brettingham Void is playing. Metroid MST into Blind's Basement, so 5 items here. Bomb capacity, full heart, red rupee. Ooh, Cane of Samaria.
We're getting some useful items, but unfortunately not anything that sort of opens up anything at the moment.
Right, it's not direct progression, I think would be the way to put it. Maximum Barnett's checking the race game ahead of time. Sees the bow. Very nice. Pack of power bombs on the library ledge. I did not catch what Metroid MST found in the well.
It does, however, look like there was a morph ball in there somewhere.
That plus more ball bombs, that is a lot of early progression.
Yep, that will open up a lot of things inside Super Metroid. I believe we found a pack of missiles. I haven't seen any supers, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we
But it's
saw
still
the
a bot check.
yeah, we saw the missile pack in the dungeon. Yeah, I haven't seen any super missiles or power bombs either.
Both end they're selling the gloves. So those who have the money coming into CAC will find that immediately.
At the bottle vendor you just said?
Yep, for 100 smeckaroos.
Alrighty, let's see what we've got going now. Looks like everybody's kind of looping back around and finishing up what everyone else has already done. Okay, Samaria is a weapon you can reasonably use in the mini Moldorm cave, right?
Yep, if those Moldorms want to play nice for you, you can use the kind of Samaria to deal with them. I personally prefer to just use bombs. Worst case scenario, they could find some arrows and just use the bow on dealing with those snakes as well.
Looks like Barnage hasn't found that flute yet.
So Barnage does a route that I like to do, which is you check Sanctuary when you come into Link to the Past, go to Houlihan, and then check Link's house on the way past out doing Houlihan, and just go straight to Kakariko. So he hasn't went to the uncle yet. He's probably waiting for an item or a weapon to help him deal with the front of his gate first.
Gotcha. Meantime, we did have a power bomb pack in the well. Money item is a missile pack. So since we've got power bombs, that's gonna be some extra checks in Super Metroid that we can do. Chest in the dam is a heart piece.
So missiles outside, so we've definitely got a lot of checks open to us now in Super Metroid.
Yeah, Super Metroid, if you know what you're doing, doesn't need a whole bunch to actually get all the checks in. The low percent glitchless is in Super Metroid is only 15 items, and a lot of that is energy and ammo.
Yeah, you want to be self-conscious between when do you stop picking up ammo versus what beams have I found? Because ideally your ammo count is going to make all the difference if you don't find charge beam.
Right, so we definitely had some value there in Mini Moldorm. I am having an absolute brain fart right now, and I can't remember what the first item Metroid MST got was, but I know it was value. Oh, right, it was super missiles. Yeah, so we now have at least one of every kind of Super Metroid ammo. 34 in chat. A normal A typical playthrough of the randomizer, depending on hard versus normal logic for the Super Metroid side, it can go as quick as, say, 2.5 hours or up to 3 to 4. Ooh, there's our first sword in the Ice Rod Cave. Meantime, Bressingham taking those gloves and checking the 3 chests in the far back of the escape.
Maxim and Barney's finding out that our green pendant lies within Thieves Town. Along with finding the lamp in the back of Shahashala's closet.
Right now, with Lamp and Bell, that puts Eastern fully in logic, correct?
Yes, it does.
And at this point, I would be surprised if that's not where Barnage goes, because it's a crystal, and you're going to have to do it at some point anyway.
Yep, 3 item checks. It's a free crystal at this point because we don't have any sort of hard locks in it now. Only problem is it doesn't have a proper weapon, but you can definitely pick up arrows in this dungeon because that's what this dungeon is designed to do, teach you how to use the bow.
Meantime, Metroid MST is doing the fake flipper glitch to head over here and check the hobo. Ooh, Bressingham is back into Super Metroid. Metroid MST gets the bug net. Now, this is the kind of scene I really like, where you've got a lot of divergence in what the runners can do, as opposed to just there's one route through it who can do it the fastest. At KR Leprechaun, this is a hard logic scene.
Bressingham playing very risky with this route because he has no energy tanks, and a lot of things in the Red Tower hurt when they hit you.
Yes, playing the vanilla sequence of Super Metroid, you would have the Various suit at this point, which is a 50% damage reduction. Bressingham checking alpha power bombs and the one item behind them. Ooh, got grabbed by a Samus Eater. Okay, so there's 320 rupees. Bressingham's definitely got to be careful. He's down to 31 health.
Yep, so far not getting much out of this. A lot of rupees, considering we haven't seen any of the big rupee bills so far.
FB Heron, I just pasted a link in chat with some of the technicals, with some of the details on what the differences are between the normal and the hard logic for hard logic. And that applies to the Super Metroid things. 34, the gray item is a reserve tank. Bressingham heading down the red tower. He does not have the equipment necessary to go check the X-ray scope, which is that yellow door to the left. But here is an energy refill station. Miss Metroid in chat with a check-in from one of our off-stream racers, Solsky. That's poor guy.
Yep, that is a poor written choice there. Just you make a choice, you make a gamble, and it just does not pay off.
Bressingham gets a heart piece from the spacer room. Aussie 101 finds the big key in its vanilla location in Eastern.
Unfortunately, there's not very much being in Eastern just now. I believe the big chest only holds a compass. So I will think that the Armus will have the last item.
Bressingham heading over to Kraid's lair. There will be one item to check before Kraid and one item after. Barnage with some very effective Samaria strats on the. What are those little wiggly enemies called? I don't know their name.
Yep, enemy names are not my strong point, I'm afraid.
Right, Barnage is up to the Armos Knights. They take 3 arrows apiece, and he's got plenty of them.
Setting up the quick kill by putting, well, essentially 5 arrows into the right hand side kills one Armos and leaves the other one with 1 remaining arrow. And then you're just quick firing, taking down each arrow Armos at a time. And you kill it before it gets a chance to turn red.
Barnage gets a +5 arrow capacity upgrade for his trouble and our first crystal of the race.
So unfortunately, not much coming from Eastern Palace. Could afford to leave it until perhaps you find a mirror, and you can mirror there from Palace of Darkness. But it's nice to get an early notch on the belt, so to say.
In the meantime, Bressingham got the Kraid quick kill by stun locking his mouth open and preventing him from standing up, and gets a full heart for his trouble.
That to me is one of the hardest tricks in Super Metroid, trying to get the quick kill on Kraid.
It's definitely one of the more tricky ones to time properly because you also have to contend with Kraid's claw curling and uncurling. Looks like Barnage is taking that lamp and heading for Dark Cross. I don't think we've seen that yet. Pack of 10 arrows at the Kraid tank room. Aussie is at Death Mountain by Flute and is going to rescue Gary the Old Man.
Yeah, so prior to this, Ozzy handed in the bottle for the sick kid and got a pack of supers out of it.
All right, Bressingham is into Norfair. There are 3 checks to make here with what he has. I believe we have seen 1 energy tank and 1 reserve tank. That is not enough to put any hell runs in logic. And there's our charge beam. Depending on what other beams show up, we might still need ammo, but the charge beam means that if we run out of ammo, we're not soft locked. Whoops, spoke too soon. That is now 3 total tanks between reserve and energy. That is enough to put the hell run to ice beam in logic.
Bressingham unfortunately will have to go around and pick up the other tanks. One of which being in Blue Brinstar at the Vanilla Morphball location.
Gets a quick check of the Crocomire escape bottom, just a +5 bomb capacity. And now taking one of the cross-game portals to Death Mountain. Now, Ozzy took that same portal to get to Super Metroid, so this is Bressingham's giving us our first look at this.
Yep, without mirror or hookshot, there's not really much to do up here on Death Mountain except from opening up the save and quit location with the old man.
So looks like Bressingham might be heading for Eastern. Oh, no, we have King Zoro we can check.
We do have King Zor, we do have all of Green Brinstar, or most of Green Brinstar anyway. There's a couple of checks without Morph, but without Speed Booster.
I believe the only item at King Zora is actually the king himself at this point. Because we don't have flippers, and we don't have flippers, so we can't get to the Waterfall of Wishing, and we also can't get to the ledge item.
Yep, and without the moon pearl, we can't trigger the walking on water glitch, the Jesus walk, however people like to refer to it. Because of some weird mechanics, when you're coming out the waterfall cave, it only checks for the moon pearl and not for actual flippers.
Barnage deals with the Mace Guard very effectively as Aussie gets the quick kill. We are now 2 for 2 on that. Looks like Bressingham and Bressingham is in Eastern, Metroid MST is in the escape. Barnage is heading for Kakariko, I think. And Aussie is coming out of Chrysler.
And so Barnish is coming back to activate his flute because he didn't have the... he hadn't went to see Uncle before coming to CAC, so he wasn't able to activate it there.
So we have some of the equipment necessary for a little bit of Sula's Meridia if Aussie was so inclined, but it appears that he is not at this point. Bressingham doing dark rooms.
Yeah, Bressingham did float directly to the number 5 and used the sort of lift up the rock and go into Eastern Palace quickly, so he skipped that lamp inside Trashlo's hut.
Draconis 422, yes. I believe Sula's Meridia is fully unlogic if we find the grapple beam. Meantime, Aussie climbing the red tower the way the vanilla sequence intends you to do it with the ice beam. Barnage getting his check of Mini Moldorm in. I don't remember what was in Dark Cross. I know it's been checked, though.
It was just a map. Yep, the trash and the map is indeed the same thing.
Barnage about to get his first sword out of Ice Rod Cave. It's going to be the first sword for everybody today. Aussie 101 making a save at the top of the red tower. Now, Aussie can make it as far. Aussie can do if Aussie's so inclined, he can head left from here and do a loop all the way through Kateria and Big Pink back to the red tower, or he can go right and head for the wrecked ship in Phantom.
I would take the guess that because he saved, he's likely to go towards wrecked ship.
Item on the mode is +5 arrow capacity. Barnage flutes to desert. The desert ledge is 10 arrows. The only other item he can check here is Agina.
Ozzy nails the bomb jump to get across the moat.
Agina's got the red meringue for us.
So where's the blue one? The most important and superior one.
Item at the bottom of the ocean is a +5 arrow capacity. Alright, so we've got Sahatra's closet with one of the reserve tanks. I'm blanking on where the second one we found was. And then we've also got the energy tank in Retro Brinstar to give us Hellrun logic, at least to Ice Beam.
So there's a reserve tank in Zelda's chest, I believe. Which is where
Right,
the
Zelda
second-
Cell.
We do, however, still have most of Green Brinstar to check. And we do have infinite bomb jumps we could do to get up to Crachedia power bombs and even the gauntlet, dare I say it.
And that was the fire rod at the Super Metroid Harmless Hellway for Aussie. With the proper supplemental items, that fire rod is access to the back of Skull Woods and also to Ice Palace. Meantime, Aussie is coming into Phantoon, who is the definition of RNG in the SMZ3 randomizer. He can move in a fast, medium, or slow pattern before opening his eye and becoming vulnerable. And once he's opened it, he can close it fast, medium, or slow too. That was a medium, and Aussie is now trying to use the Doppler effect. Phantoon's eye closes after you've done enough damage to Phantoon. His eye closes after 10 frames. But so what you do is you move toward him as you're firing so that they hit him more frequently than every 10 frames, and it basically stun locks the eye open. Looks like Phantoon has given Aussie mid. Aussie finishes Phantoon off with a super missile, which actually do double damage to him. The problem is if you hit him with the super missile and it doesn't kill him, it will instead enrage him, and he will sit at the top of the screen and waste about 40 seconds of your life.
Yep, and with no energy tanks and just reserves, that time is going to be... It's going to be real bad.
He does have Charge Beam for Pseudo Screw Attack, which would make dodging the flames easier, but again, the time waste is just nasty. And yes, super missiles are double damage to Phantoon. If it was triple, he would only take 2 to die. It would only take 3 to die. Yeah, Phantoon has 2,500 health. The missiles do 100, and the super missiles would normally do 300, but as I said, it's double to Phantoon, and as Alveoli mentioned, Ridley as well, so that's 600. So we've now seen 3 reserve tanks and two energy tanks. That's 5. That's enough to hell run to Bubble Mountain. Bressingham doing the infinite bomb jump up to the Criteria power bomb pack. Looks like Barnage got the crate quick kill as well. We are now 3 for 3 on that.
Wrestling found in another E-tank, so we now got a bit of spare capacity to look for.
Metroid MST buys the Big Crate DLC. That gives us 3 for 4 on the restream.
Yep, taking Parade to the prom.
Bressingham now trying to do wall jumps up to the Criteria Gauntlet. That is, the wall jumps up there are in logic for the hard setting. KR Leprechaun, Bressingham does not have enough super missiles or power bombs to do a crystal flash. Everyone else does. All right, but the Chozo in the middle of the gauntlet is a heart piece. Wrecked Ship Reserve Tank is a 20 rupees. And Aussie is through the gauntlet. Now, no, Bressingham is through the gauntlet. Sets up the fall down the middle so both items can be had. Another energy tank. The Seed's getting generous with that now. Bressingham heading into the Terminator room for Bombos Medallion.
Ozzy appeared to have found the Varia suit in the sky.
Yeah, Semper Firedock confirming Varia is at Missiles in the Sky. So, all that talk about hell runs? Never mind. Right, Aussie now at the bowling Chozo, who's going to take him down to the area where the gravity suit is found normally. He's got a 30-second break or so. They'll give him a chance to wipe his hands, get a drink, maybe check Tinder. Bressingham does the mock ball under the closing gate so that he can get into here without needing the speed booster. There's a bee in a bottle, as well as some missiles and super missiles. And there's also the early supers item up here, because in 90% you use that. Ooh, there's our next sword. And I guess that was Bressingham's first sword. Oh, a fairy in a bottle. 2 bottles in this area. How about that? I didn't realize Bressingham had not been to the Ice Rod Cave.
Just needs to remember that he's got a fairy in a bottle in case he tries to do a death work.
Oh, that would be unfortunate. Bressingham now heading to the Edekun's area. There are 3 items here. Oh, looks like Bressingham is going to take a little bit and farm some power bombs, because I believe those are B-toms, and they are basically guaranteed to drop. They are very likely to drop power bombs. All right, so 20 rupees there, and in this room we find 3 bombs.
Yep, despite having normal morph ball bombs, only 10 power bombs is still pushing it a little bit to try and navigate both green Runstar and pink Runstar.
Yeah, everyone else has 15, which is a much better number. One of the endgame notes is that if you have 15 power bombs, if you don't have Ice Beam, 15 power bombs is enough that you won't need to backtrack to reload or rely on drop luck to take care of the Metroids in Torian. And we got Pegasus boots at the Edekun missiles.
Brett's going to ask him, what are those? As he is now allowed to go fast.
Yeah, Bressingham saving his power bombs here, just going through that wall of bomb blocks slowly. And we are now into Big Pink. There's a lot here.
Yep, the only thing that will not be available to them is the waterway, because we need the speed booster for that.
All right. Pre-Mission Impossible was super missiles. Mission Impossible itself is the grappling beam. I believe we may now have Sealess Meridia in logic.
Did I call it? Did I call it Suitless Meridia Seed?
You very well may have. And I think I just saw our third sword at the pre-charge beam missiles. Bressingham sets up so that super missile accelerates and breaks an off-screen block before it can despawn, letting him head back here to check Spore Spawn's item without actually fighting Spore Spawn. And hey, there's our Bloomerang.
So Metroid Master using the gate glitch to climb up green hills to get into the back of the pink.
Green Hills Onatum is another energy tank. Hushy Hexy, anywhere from 2.5 hours all the way up to 4. Ooh, Metroid MST's got to be real careful. He's on super low health. Retro Breen Power Bombs is a missile tank. Yeah. Bressingham gets a gate clip similar to what Metroid MST did to open that gate from the wrong side for another energy tank. That's Vanilla. Metroid MST into Alpha Missiles, which is also Vanilla. And he can also check Beta Missiles and the Billy Mays room. $34. I hesitate to call a lead this early, or really at any point before go mode. Yeah, Separate Fire Dog's absolutely right.
Yep, someone could be in the lead with all the crystals and most of the bosses, and it's just that one item that control them, and they could actually 100% the seed looking for that one item, and someone could have went there 5 seconds and get that item, and that means they're technically winning because they could just go mode and clear all the dungeons.
And we've got value in Billy Mays. The hidden item was the silver arrows.
So it's pretty much a given that Link to the Past is free at this point.
Yeah, we've got a lot of crisscrossing again, although Maximum Varnish is heading over to check Omega Missiles, so named because it's the last item you get in 100% item collection. I don't think we've seen this yet, and it's a hammer!
The hammer!
Okay, what does Hammer open up for us?
So actually, without Moon Pearl, it doesn't really open up a lot. Because we can get to the Dark World now, but we can't do anything in it.
Not within the logic, anyway. I believe the randomizer expects more or less glitchless on the LTTP side, correct?
Yeah, there's no real requirements on the Link to the Past side, so no major glitches. Pretty much. So there's only the only thing that's really allowed is the fake flippers that we already saw, where you jump into the water, sort of the same frame as you screen transition, or the frame after you screen transition, and it tricks the game into thinking that you're swimming, so it doesn't bother checking to see if you have the flippers or not.
All right, so we've again got our runners again crisscrossing what everyone else has already done. So in the meantime, Thoris, where are you hoping we find our next progression?
So we now have pretty much all of Northrop to look, because we have found the various suit. I'm kind of still hoping it's in Meridia, despite them not having the gravity suit, because I could be mean like that.
My personal favorite troll location is the Gold Torizo missiles, because that's hard-locked by a logic cat in the original Super Metroid. The Chozo that drains the acid to let you through to the vanilla sequence to get to Gold Torizo will not drain the lava for you if you don't have space jump. I believe that logic catches because there's no sprite for having screw attack without also having space jump, but I'm not 100% sure.
So yeah, we can get to the moon, to the dark world. We can access it through Kakariko or the South Shore, but because we don't have the moon pearl, we can't do anything once we get in there. So our main progression for Link to the Past is now locked behind the moon pearl.
So here's the question: are you able to open chests as a bunny in Link to the Past?
No. The only thing you can do as a bunny is walk around. There is a couple of things you can do to glitch it into allowing you to open chests as a bunny, which is known as the Super Bunny glitch. So if you fall down a hole, for example, like Super Bunny Cave, adequately known for if you fall down as a bunny, it allows you to open up the chests in that cave. There's also another way you can set up where if you have a fairy in a bottle, funnily enough, and you die, you can resurrect with said fairy, and that will also allow you to open chests.
So what I was thinking just now is if we find the second glove upgrade, that gives us access to the Misery Mire area and the 2 chests in the Mire Shed. But if we don't have the Moon Pearl, we can't open the chests, correct?
Yes. However, we have found a fairy in a bottle, so if we die in that room, we can use the fairy to bring us back, and that would essentially give us the Super Bunny state. So we would then be able to open those 2 chests. It's not required as logic or anything like that, but it's a way to get around not having the moon pearl.
Right, that was what I was asking. Meantime, Aussie is heading for the X-ray scope room, doing it the way the vanilla sequence intended, using the grappling beam.
Yeah, so there's a number of ways to get in there. I believe in hard mode, you just really need HP to survive and the morph ball bombs, because you could then just infinite bomb jump up.
Oh my, Draconis422 in chat pointing out something I had overlooked. If we can get to the Mire area, that gives us access to the cross-game portal leading to Lower Norfair.
Yep, one way to really troll people is to like put the mirror inside something like Checkerboard Cave, and then force you to go through Lower Norfair to get access to that location. So you would then have to mirror from there.
Well, I thought Checkerboard Cave itself was in the light world and required the mirror to get to it.
Yeah, so you must mirror from the Dark Swamp, which is where Lower Norfair takes you out. But if you don't have the second glove, you can't just go there from Link to the Past. You would have to go through Lower Norfair to get there.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah, the level of trolling that you can create with these seeds, with these new crossworld portals, is absolutely ridiculous. And sometimes it's even just simple things as to, this is a standard item in a standard location, but you just can't get there because you have to do this weird and wonderful loop around both games together.
Barnage is into the Phantoon fight as Metroid MST is climbing up toward Terminator. Oh, he's gonna backdoor check the gauntlet item, see if it's worth his time.
Yep, may not deem it worthwhile for just an energy tank and some missiles.
Aussie heading up to Billy Mays. He'll get his silver arrows out of this. Burstingham is into the wrecked ship. Metroid MST is back into the parlor, as it's called. Barnage finishes the Phantoon fight on 20 health, 20 or 40 health. That's a close call.
Still has some energy in the reserves though. Not sure how much, but it may be enough to help get them through.
The problem with reserves is that your invincibility timer continues to run down while they're refilling you. So it's very possible that if you get hit and your reserves fill you, you'll run out of invincibility and immediately get hit again once they're done filling you. I've had that happen and I've died because of it.
Yeah, when it runs out in lava, that's the worst. It just drains your health completely, and you're like, yep, there was no point in that. I just died 2 seconds later.
And Bressingham just had a fast move and a fast eye close on Fantoon. That's probably as trolly as he can get, aside from slow move and fast eye close. Aussie gets a pack of super missiles from the old Mother Brain room. And he is not going to check Shaft Supers. You can check them without the speed booster, but you can't get them. Chris Crash, if you fill them from your inventory, yes, that absolutely helps. Because if you're paused, then you're not being drained. Barnage is heading off to the east side of Wreck Ship, where there is one item to check. He made a convenient save so that if the item is not worth anything, he can reset to that save instead of having to backtrack. And Semper Firedog in chat, yeah, the sponge bath jump, as it's known, it can be and absolutely be a pain in the butt.
Yep, and following that being the spiky room of death, you can die very, very fast in that room, even at 100%.
Yeah, especially if you're Barnage in this case and you don't have that Various suit yet. Oh, right, you wouldn't because you haven't gotten there. You can't have gotten there. I think it's 80 health a hit. And it's a red rupee, so Barnage is going to reset back to that save. Right, Ossie's back into Link to the Past, and it looks like he found a mail upgrade somewhere. I didn't catch that.
It was in the attic of the wreck ship.
Okay.
So we'll probably see Bresing and Maximum Barnage coming up on that shortly.
Did we ever check what the charge beam item was? If we did, I didn't see it.
I don't think it was anything important.
Because I remember seeing what looked like our next sword at the pedestal before that. And yeah, Semper Firedog. I saw a sword up. There was a sword in early supers area, and then I think I saw another one that I didn't. That was right by the vanilla charge beam location.
Yep, so there is 3 swords. There's one in Ice Rod Cave, and there's the one in early supers, and the other one is where you saw it, just above the charge beam pedestal.
Aussie gets a full heart out of the bonk rocks, now heading for the back of escape. Yeah, Aussie has not been to the ice rod cave. Did we see what item was in the middle of the ocean in the Morphball maze?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure Maximum Barnage will check it shortly. 50 rupees. There we go.
Alrighty.
I knew it the whole time, honest.
Maximum Barnage doing the infinite bomb jump up to the missiles in the sky. He'll get his Various suit out of this. Oh, he dropped the bomb jump. Well, now he knows he's got to get it. Looks like he's gonna guide the platform enemy. I don't know what they're called until he can land. There we go.
Yep,
Okay, he's got it.
So much easier. Can you jump into it, Maximum? So what Maximum Barnage is doing right now is the Super Metroid version of an escort quest, where you essentially have to escort it with the camera, because if it's not on camera, it's not moving.
There are certain specific enemies that still move even when they're off camera, but I don't know what the rhyme or reason is to which ones that applies to. We get Aussie finds a missile pack at the ice beam location. Bressingham
pretending he has bombs.
Yeah, we gotta say, yeah, bomb jump. All right, Aussie over into Crumble Tower to find the other green rupee. Bressingham going for the infinite bomb jump as well.
Bressingham throwing the power bomb in there to open up the wall first.
Yeah, that was very nice. Ooh, there's the enraged state of Phantoon for Metroid MST. Like I said, that's what happens if you hit him with a super missile and it doesn't kill him. He was probably just one shot away. And that was an ice beam special beam attack, or beam shield as they're sometimes called. To do those, you equip charge beam, one other beam, and set your item to power bombs. You charge your bomb up, and it'll consume a power bomb and do a special attack.
Yep, so the wave beam does what is essentially looks like an X factor, or it creates an X, so we call it the X factor. The spazer will do just the what's normally called a golden shower, essentially, because it sort of rains up and down spazer shots, and the ice does the little shield.
Plasma beam does kind of a windmill effect with plasma projectiles that go through enemies like the plasma beam does. And yeah, that's it. The wave beam special beam attack is the most effective one because those projectiles do as much damage as a super missile. A lot of runners will use that to get early damage on Ridley. Or if you have that for Phantoon, that's another way to kill him in 2 rounds. Yep, there's our last reserve tank at the wave beam location. All right, so Aussie is giving us new checks now.
Yep, making good use of that various suit and checking out our Norfair checks.
I didn't see what he found in the cathedral on the way to Bubble Mountain.
It was just a missile pack in the lava.
All right, heading for the speed booster location. There's going to be that item and then one item right outside that room. Ooh, Barnage is going to brute force to the X-ray scope. and Ozzy heading back out of the speed booster room, and he will not have to contend with the rising lava because the trigger for that event happening is having the speed booster, which we don't. Similarly, our runners all had to fight Gold Torizo because the trigger for that fight is having the morph ball bombs, which all of them do have. Maximum Barn is doing some serious shenanigans with freezing enemies to proceed toward the X-ray scope room. And very effective mid-air start bomb jump. Very good. Ooh, there's our flippers in Bubble Mountain. Super Fire Dog, that's just evil. I think Ozzy is now heading for... I'm not sure what he's doing. He can technically make it to Lower Norfair with the Lava Dive strat. Oh, that is what he's doing.
That's an interesting play.
I believe the Lava Dive is considered to be in logic for the hard logic, but I'm not 100% sure.
I believe it is, but there's so many other checks I would check over this one. They
But in
are
the
a lot
meantime,
safer.
in the meantime, Ozzy makes it look like it's absolutely nothing.
Ozzy is a bit of a show-off. He is a regular and a bit of a show-off.
Well, it always makes for an entertaining race, so I'm not going to complain. Gets the gate glitch first try. That abuses the way projectiles accelerate to cause the projectiles to spawn past the gate. We saw either Barnage or Bressingham do that earlier in the Green Hill Zone. And we've got the shovel at Gold Torizo Missile, so it is possible that's required if there's something at the dig spot. Ozzy's got himself positioned so that Gold Torizo cannot hit him by throwing his super missiles back, and Ozzy just has to spam them, and so on and so on. Kaboom.
Yep, more than enough super missiles to end that fight.
Yeah, Ozzy's maximum is 40 super missiles, which is also enough to take on Ridley. Ridley has 18,000 health. As we mentioned earlier, super missiles do double damage to him, so it takes 30. Oh, Ozzy dipping into the cross-game portal to the Mire area. Not sure what he's got in mind. Maybe just check the medallion for... Ooh. Looks like Mystery Mouse Medallion is quick. Red Pendant, Turtle Rock, Green Pendant, Thieves Town, 5-6 Crystal at Swamp. I don't see the other 5-6 Crystal. I think it might be the... Oh, it is.
He's right next to it.
Oh, I couldn't see it because of the link icon.
Yeah, so diving into the swamp here is more for just the knowledge of, right, what am I going to need to get into Mire?
Okay, it looks like Ozzy is trying to do something, but I'm not sure what. Is he setting up the fairy revive trick, maybe? Oh no, there was a damage boost of some kind that he did to... I think what he did was a damage boost as he entered the door transition, and that caused something like Super Bunny.
Well, I've never seen it set up that way, but it's the point. That's the fun of these races. You get to see new things.
Didn't pay him any real benefit though. Meantime, Bressingham is heading for the wreck ship reserve, the Norfair Reserve. Blah, I cannot talk. Pack of missiles, pack of bombs. Absolutely no progress.
Yeah, not much to
Meantime,
find there either.
Aussie is now infinite bomb jumping up out of the screw attack room. Yeah, he's gonna use power bombs to farm super missiles from those rippers because they are almost guaranteed to drop super missiles when you destroy them. As we mentioned, Aussie does have charge beams, so he doesn't have to worry about ammo when he's fighting Ridley. But considering the only other beam he has is the ice beam, it would still be very slow if he was to run out of ammo.
Isn't charge ice the low percent strategy for pretty much all the bosses?
Minor glitch low percent can actually be done with either the ice beam or the speed booster. Because both of those can be used to skip the Zebatites in Torian, and that's the sticking point. Aussie 101 heading through fast pillars now, so called because you normally shine spark through here, but again, we don't have the speed booster. And now into the worst room in the game. So called because it lags like a jerk and it's a pain in the butt to do effectively with anything but 100% set collection levels. And again, Aussie makes it look like it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it looks like he used the invincibility frames from the power bomb to just jump straight through that space pirate.
Mickey Mouse room is just a missile pack. Aussie now into the amphitheater. Have to contend with the rising boiling acid. Yes, Emperor Fire Dog. The good runners really make it look easy. Barnage farming from the enemy generator on the way to Speed Booster. Aussie saving his super missiles. Finds a red rupee of power bombs of shame, so named because you, in an any percent run, you would pick that up if you run out of power bombs in this area. But you only run out if your RNG sucks or if you plan poorly.
It feels like we shouldn't be shaming people because the RNG sucked. Because that's out of their control.
That's absolutely fair to say.
So Emperor Charge Beam was in the E tank before high jump boots.
Aussie 101 in the Ridley fight as Bressingham is doing the lava dive to head for Lower Norfair. Ozzy playing the Ridley fight fairly safe, not trying to take it too fast, just reasonable pace. Very well done. Semper Fire Dog, you're doing fine. Don't worry about it.
So Ridley just paying out with full art container. So either something important in the Lower Norfair escape, or maybe Krog actually has a item. With maximum barnage entering Krog's lair, we will find out that answer soon enough.
A Crocomire does not take damage the way other bosses do. Most shots back him up a step or two, a super missile backs him up 3 steps, and you have to back him up till he falls into the lava. No, that's not lava, that's boiling acid. My mistake.
Although if you really want to have fun with this, just do a charged plasma shot and just watch him retreat from that fight.
Yes, Crocomire is one of the bosses who is not flagged to stop plasma beam shots from passing through him because you're not meant to have it during him. So it'll just pass, you fire it through his mouth, it'll just pass through him and hit him multiple times. On an interesting note, the same is true for Phantoon, Bomb Wound, and Dragon. They also do not stop plasma shots. Now you can combine that with an interesting effect on the X-ray scope, where their invincibility frames continue to run out while the X-ray scope is active, by firing a shot into them, running their frames out with the X-ray scope, letting it go, using it again, and so on and so on and so on until they've died. That's called the microwave beam, as KR Leprechaun just put in chat. For those of you who might be a little less technically inclined, it's the same idea as the Yellow Devil pause trick from Mega Man 1. Okay, Semper Fire Dog. In Mega Man 1, one of the Wily Fortress bosses is called the Yellow Devil. His weakness is the Thunder Beam from Electman, and if you fire it into him and then pause and unpause repeatedly, it can hit him multiple times. Same concept as the microwave beam. Cosine Wave Room is I believe it was 10 arrows for maximum burnage.
Now, what's he finding half magic on the escape from Lower Norfair?
Awesome. I didn't see the post-morph maze room or the Hoarder Ruby special. What were those?
They were not important to really go after, so...
Alright, Semper Fire Dog saying the Franker Z room was half magic. Looks like Bressingham is trying the same thing that Aussie did to check the Meyer shed. Maximum Bardage bomb dumping up to the Indiana Jones area. And that item is just missiles. So he's going to head over and do the infinite bomb jump up to the actual grappling beam room.
And then I believe we're on to Suitless Meridia, because I don't know where else we haven't checked.
And that's 20 rupees. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we might have not checked, and I can't think of anything. Also, Oh, right, King Zora. We have the flippers. There's 4 checks there now. So Ozzy is just getting done with Crockemeyer. Maximum Barnage and Metroid MST screen for screen at this point. Renegas 1981. Oh, there's our moon pearl! Post Crockemeyer power bombs.
Trust this to be the one seed that proves me wrong of always bet on Croc. I never bet on Croc. It's probably why I lose a lot of races, come to think about it.
Did Barnage not check the post Crockemeyer power bombs?
I would hope that he did, and I just wasn't paying attention. I don't remember him going on that route.
Yeah, Metroid MST got it. Ozzy just got it, and I don't remember I don't remember Barnage checking it. Well, looks like he's on his way to Lower Norfair, so he'll probably go through the cross-game transition. That'll confirm for us if he's got it.
Yeah, I think if Maximum has forgotten to check it, then it's not likely going to be that that's a place to remember to check anytime soon.
Yeah, if that is what... Look, hang on, his map.
It did look like he'd been in that room with his map, so yeah.
Yes, he has. Okay, so he must have it.
Phew, crisis averted.
No kidding. Ozzy swinging across the grappling rippers to the Indiana Jones item.
Yep, the intended way to do that room, and those rippers are just not very nice.
Ooh, Barnage is coming. Ooh, he's got 4 full energy tanks. That's a nice safety net. Ooh, he keeps taking the fireballs from the Naheems. Oh, he's gonna go for a crystal flash. And that will have refilled Barnage's reserve tanks too. So he's got that safety net again. Okay, he made it. All right, Metroid MST is back into Link to the Past. So Barnage is heading for Lower Norfair. So, all right, with that Moon Pearl, Link to the Path is busted wide open.
Yeah, without the Titans Mitts, we almost have full access to all of Dark World. So the only thing we don't have access to is Ice Palace, because we need our Titans Mitts to get in there, and Dark Death Mountain.
And as an interesting note for those of you who might be more familiar with the Link to the Past side, because of that cross-game portal from Lower Norfair to the Mire area, the Titansmiths could actually be in Misery Mire. Bressingham playing it super careful. I think a hit from one of those pirates would have ended. Oh, he takes the death.
Is that a bit of a commentator's curse there?
Oh, and he's all the way back at the ship. His last save must have been an autosave from a cross-game transition. That is so unfortunate. Saves at the ship to restock everything, which is absolutely a good choice.
Yeah, so thankfully, due to how murderous Super Metroid can be, the game does autosave when you swap between both Link to the Past and Super Metroid. So if you die in Super Metroid, you end up back at the ship and you don't lose all your progress in Link to the Past if you've just transitioned out of it.
You can also force yourself to respawn at the ship by saving and quitting in Link to the Past and then hard resetting your console. Meantime, Separate Fire Dog says that Aussie found the speed booster in Hype Cave. Got the mushroom on the pyramid ledge.
And so the fetch quests begin. The mushroom leads to a space jump because you need that to get the shovel, and then Titan's Mitz is on the shovel.
Can you not? Seriously, just can you not?
If there's one thing I'm good at, is thinking of really nasty ways to troll people with how this seed can work out.
Meantime, Metroid MST is heading for the back of Skull Woods. And Aussie is heading for Palace of Darkness. Bressingham is heading through Norfair. Oh, Maximum Barnage takes a death to Gold Torizo.
Also back on the ship.
That's not as bad because I know he was into Link to the Past for a couple of checks, so he would have auto saved, but it's gonna be so inconvenient for him to get back to where he was.
It's such a troll because, yeah, without the Titan's Mitz, there is no easy access to get back to Lower Norfair except from running through all of Super Metroid. And it's the same if we have to go into Mire, for anything. If the Titan's Mitz, for example, are in Mire and we have to go out and find the Quake, and you've already done all the Lower Norfair route, it's such a pain to try and get back and forth.
Bressingham is now back to Crocomire. Metroid MST looks like he just took a death. Oh, but he's got the fairy. I hope that was not a death warp attempt.
Yeah, it was indeed a death warp. So Metroid MST has jumped into Skull Woods, and Aussie's jumped into our Palace of Darkness. So we're getting two different dungeons. They're both crystal, so at the end you're still going to have to do both of them. But Palace of Darkness does have a lot more items, so it's a lot more item dense.
How many prices does Palace of Darkness have?
I believe it's 5.
So what else was in Hype Cave? I know we found Speed Booster, but I didn't... Okay, missiles, power bombs, and super missiles. Underwhelming. All right, Metroid MST is up to a very well-programmed boss. Like, I don't get this fight. It's awful. Moving spikes, conveyor belt floor. Why?
Add into that Modular's immunity to spikes and gold sword damage.
I believe the gold sword damage was patched in this version of the cross game randomizer, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yep. So for anyone who doesn't know, Mothula, when they initially programmed it, they didn't expect you to have the gold sword by the time you hit to Morphula. However, you can do it because you could just nip into Skullwoods and get the fire rod and then leave, and you could go around and do the rest of the game. So you could potentially have the butter sword by the time you go in there. But Mothula doesn't take damage from butter sword as a sort of precaution to stop it just taking damage when you hit it in the spikes, because enemies in this game still take environmental damage. So I believe for this version and the Link to the Past randomizer, they have patched it so that the gold sword does tempered sword damage. So it's essentially just the same as having your temper sword, which means you can still slash it and poke it, but you still cannot use your spin attacks because it still classes as class 4 damage, which is what the gold sword would normally do.
Meantime, Ozzy looks like he absolutely bull charged through Palace of Darkness while we were talking about that, and he's got another crystal for his trouble. Okay, so he's going to go back in and find all the prices.
Yeah, so depending on your time in getting to Palace of Darkness, that is ideally what you're looking for if you're looking to go mode it. You're looking for something in the left, like a key or the big key, and then when you go to the right hand side, you get another small key and slash or the big key if you didn't get it already. If you get those two items, you can just breeze through to the Helmasaur and kill him. But unfortunately, this isn't go mode, so ideally, you're still going to have to go back and check those checks anyway.
Meantime, Metroid MST just checked the Magic Cape ledge. That's only a heart piece.
And Maximum Barnes has joined Ozzy in Palace of Darkness.
MST checking the chest game gets 50 rupees and an energy tank for his trouble. I don't think we've seen much of Village of Outcasts yet. I think Metroid MST is our first real look at it.
Yep, there is only 3 checks here, despite there being such a big area to explore.
All right, so the brewery is +5 aero capacity, and then the last one is the Sea House, correct?
Yep, we do not have the timesmith, so we can't check the hammer pegs, we can't check we can't pick up the blacksmith, sorry, to go and hand him in. So we would have to either choose, do we dive into Pendant Thieves Town, or do we continue and go into Southern Dark Road?
All right, Ossie's heading for the Dark Maze. Bressingham heading for Lower Norfair again. The fireballs from those Naheems, I believe, does a full energy tank of damage when you're on Varia. Yeah, that was 100 damage.
Yep, your best strategy is to avoid them as much as you can.
Bressingham is in a similar situation to Barnage. He's got reserve tanks and he's got the ammo to Crystal Flash if he needs to. There we go.
So this is one of these. The lava dive is one of these daunting tricks that I think people struggle with because it's this idea of you're in there, you're constantly taking damage, your health is just falling through the floor essentially. So I think people got really nervous when they try and learn this trick. So it's one of the things that you really need to, if you're looking to run this game, practice that trick, particularly for things like hard mode.
Meantime, Ossie's heading for Inzora's domain. 3 items out of 4 have not been any good.
Yep, it was just a
Just
heart
gotta
piece
pay
from
the
the
scam
edge.
artist now. See what we got. And Zora gives us some super missiles. Looks like Ossie's done with Palace of Darkness. Metroid MST is about to blow open the roof in Thieves Town. Barnage is in pod, and Bressingham is doing fast pillars. Ossie turning in that mushroom. Be interesting to see if he hard resets after if the mushroom is nothing, so to possibly go for the fake powder glitch to check the magic bat.
Yeah, fake flippers is one of these tricks where you have to decide whether or not your magic is important enough to keep. Particularly with half magic, it's very hard to actually drain your magic bar in the first place.
I gotcha.
So fake flippers is one of these tricks where if you have an empty magic bar and you try to use a magic item, the game alerts you by playing a kind of noise. And during that noise, if you switch over to the mushroom or even the powder itself, you can use essentially one cast of powder. So if you're in the magic bat cave, you can use that to check that out and get away with it. But again, you have to consider whether or not keeping your magic is essential or not, because if there's not an easy way to restore your magic, like a tree pull, for example, then it could be kind of difficult. I have not seen anything of interest inside this Steve's Town, but it is only a green pendant, so there's 4 checks plus the green pendant hand in, which makes it a 5.
Is there a convenient flute spot to go to for the green pendant turn in?
And number 5 takes you to just outside Eastern. You can use either go to number 5 and then you could walk in through the dark world and mirror if you had the mirror. You could use super speed off of one of the staircases with the spin slash, and that would allow you to navigate really quickly back to Shahashula's house.
Bressingham does a crystal flash after the fire flea room. Heading for Ridley now. Metroid MST gets the map off of blind. And so we are yet again in a scenario where we've seen pretty much everything that's everyone's doing. All right, so as long as we've got a little bit of downtime, I'd like to give a shout out to Total, the madman behind the code logic that makes the randomizer work. I absolutely love watching this. My mindset's not good for playing it though, because I'd rather take my time and do everything than try to beat it as fast as I can.
I have a similar problem where I'm going through it and I'll get so far and then I'll brain will be like, I wonder where this item is, or I wonder what's over here, and I'll just start veering off onto tangents. And then I'm like, oh, that's me just lost like an hour and a half because I was too busy exploring.
All right, Metroid MST just checked the digging game, got 10 digs for a missile pack. Oh, he's gonna kept going for a little bit, possibly to get some money for King Zora. And Barnage, without half magic, looks like he may be about to go for the fake powder glitch to check the. Yeah, he's gonna go for the magic bat check with the fake powder glitch.
Yep, Fire Rod without half magic is only 9 shots, so very easy to burn out because you can fire them almost consecutively.
And we get a heart piece. Oof. You know, right now, since Swamp Palace is a crystal, we are 100% looking for mirror, correct?
Yep, we need the mirror before we can get in there. We have found our flippers, so we can get into the front half of it, but we can't access the back part until we get the hookshot.
Skull Woods has 2 prizes, correct?
Yep, only 2.
Bressingham making good use of the grappling beam to farm the bugs here. I'll be right back.
Yep, ideally you want to be going into Ridley with having a minimum of 30 supers, because it takes 30 super missile hits to kill him. Sometimes if you've got capacity to have more, you'd like to have a bit more just as a safety net in case you miss, because Ridley likes to fly around a lot. So yeah, folks, give these runners a follow. Their streams are in chat for you to go. Give them a follow. Show them your support for choosing to not only run, because you can run the race, it's quite easy, but choosing to be on the restream. You've got a lot more people watching. It can play on your nerves a little bit. I'm quite a nervous person, so I know for certainty it plays on me. So give these guys some love and support by giving them a follow. And also shout out to our trackers, Semper and Hugo. I know Hugo's having a lot of issues with lag, so he's doing the best he can. But tracking it is, I've done it myself, not exactly the easiest, because sometimes you can click things in the tracker and it will just decide, no, I'm not going to work. So, and sometimes you click in it and it will update on your tracker, but it still doesn't update on the stream. Sometimes there's a little bit of a communication, and so they're constantly fighting themselves.
Okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Nothing of important, just giving the runners their dues and their trackers their dues. And of course, give my co-commentator Big Rock a follow as well.
And Thoris could use a follow as well. All right, so we've got Bressingham in the late stages of the Ridley fight. Metroid MST is going through Pod. Aussie is in Thieves Town, and looks like Barnage is heading for Brinstar.
I wonder if Maximum's even been down here, because he now has the opportunity to check the waterway with the speed booster.
I don't think he has, but I'm not. I don't remember if the map remains colored properly between resets and such.
I believe there was a fix for that, but don't quote me on that. I'm sure I read somewhere that there was a fix for that.
I thought there was too.
Judging that he's not had the early super items, I'm going to guess that Maximum hasn't been down here, because Mock Ball is a very, very easy trick to learn. It's one of the first tricks I learned when I tried to learn Super Metroid.
Yeah, it was fairly easy for me to learn as well. And speaking of, I'm looking at the changelog on the Randomizer website. It says that the Super Metroid map should have been fixed as of version 10.2, which is the most recent public release.
Yeah, I believe Total has been working more on the sort of multi-world version of the randomizer. So
Yeah,
that's why there's not been any major updates to this version. But I believe that multi-world is now public available, so hopefully we might see an update to this version as well.
Multi-World is in public beta at this point.
I know there's a few runners I've seen running around with the sort of invite-only beta. I know Andy's been doing a lot of work with it.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen more than a few of my follow-up runners doing siege with each other. That is just such a fascinating concept to me. Anyone who might not know what multi-world is, you generate a set of ROMs for you and however many friends you like, and then all of you can find items for each other.
Yes, I think it originally became a thing with Ocarina of Time, where it's essentially a co-op seed, but you're all in your own versions of the game, and you can find each other's version of the game, and it all sends items to people. But I'll be honest, from what I've seen of what I've played of the Link to the Past version of it, it's much better on the Link to the Past version. It's a lot more stable.
In fairness, Super Nintendo emulation itself is a lot more stable than Nintendo 64 emulation at this point, because the N64 is a hard console to emulate, from my understanding of the technical aspects. Ozzy is playing the arrow shooting game to make money, I guess.
He's just doing it for the memes. Potentially needed money for the digging game, but more for the memes.
Ozzy is absolutely he's one of the best at both games. I remember back in the winter tournament around this time last year, actually, he demonstrated the glitch in Frog Speedway in Super Metroid where you can pass behind the blocks without the speed booster, and that just blew my mind.
You can do that? My brain is now stuck on how do you do that than anything else.
It has to do with overloading the PLM or something by firing the wave beam at off-screen and through off-screen blocks. Yamato Silence, yes, that is exactly how that went.
That's a here hold my beer moment.
I'm actually going to look that clip up and paste it in the chat because that was amazing.
Ozzy looks to be doing the back door into Meridia.
Yes, the last cross game portal we haven't seen goes from right around here to the hidden missile refill in Meridia. In the meantime, Regaro in chat, hi bro, pointing out that Ozzy doing the arrow game was legit because he did indeed need the money for the dig game.
So unfortunately, there was nothing of importance in the waterway that our runners have missed for not having the speed booster when they did their initial Brinstar loop. Ozzy finding our fourth sword, however. So Ozzy's still not been to the ice cavern, so he has not picked up his. Yep, you found that link, all right. Found that clip. So he's not been to the ice cavern, which is where most of our runners found their first sword. So they will all likely find their golden sword when they come through Meridia later on.
All right, looks like Ozzy is heading for. There are two. This is the aqueduct room. There are two items in here that are in logic with a snail clamp. That is considered for the hard logic. Sorry about going quiet there for a bit. I was looking up that clip and then I accidentally closed the wrong window on the wrong computer. All right, so first item in Aqueduct is a red rupee. There's a second one that you can't see from there. So question is whether or not Ossie's going to go for it.
Can you do the snail clip without the radio set?
I believe I'm not sure. I don't. I think you can, but I don't remember.
Also, that clip definitely worth a watch. That was incredibly funny.
Yeah, I'll be all like, that's kind of a hang up I have. Like a lot of times when I'm doing these, I feel like I feel like I'm talking a lot more than everyone else, you know? Meantime, Metroid MST turned in the green pendant and got 300 rupees for his trouble. Semper Fire Dog telling us that the right hand pit was money and money. And Draconis 422 saying that we do in fact need the gravity suit for the snow clip. Thank you. Although we have grapple beam, I think we might be able to get to Shack Tool, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh no, actually, I think Shack Tool is in logic because we have Ice Beam and can do the Ice Clip. All right, Barnage about to give us the check of Shaft Supers.
I'm sure there was a race not too long ago where something of dread importance was at Shacktail. I can't remember if it was Moon Pearl or Gravity Suit at the time.
Now this series of wall jumps Ossie's doing is a pain in the butt because you not only do you have to contend with the low height, you also have to contend with the water going up and down. Red shield and missiles. Not worth it.
Definitely not worth trying to get to.
Hugo, how is Shack in logic without ice? And Dr. Sagan 96, there is nothing prohibited in these races. If you can do it, it's legal. Except for maybe arbitrary code execution. Okay, overworld glitches are out too. I did not actually know that, Temper Fire Dog. Ossie really going all in on the Sulis Meridia. Can get from here up to the beach. I think he might be able to get to Watering Hole too.
Yeah, I believe Watering Hole's out of water at that point, so you should be able to get up there. As long as you can get out the beach, yeah.
So right there on Ossie's screen, that's one of the enemies that keeps moving even when it's off screen. Like I said, I don't know what the rhyme or reason is to which ones that applies to. Carol Leprechaun, no bomb. You cannot bomb jump when you're underwater without the gravity suit.
Yep, you do not get any uplift whatsoever. You just sort of stay in place.
Ossie making great use of the ice beam to create enemy platforms. Alrighty, here's Watering Hole. 2 items in here. Ooh, there's our mirror!
Gravity and swamp, anyone?
Alright, so Sula's Meridian gamble paying off for Aussie for sure.
So this is definitely a seed that I would probably have forfeited a long time ago.
Tracker Semper Firedog pointing out that Sula's Meridian was mandatory if we find gravity behind mirror.
Well, I'm thinking it's not just swamp that's been opened up, because we now have access to all of the Death Mountain now, because we can get up to Tower of Power, and we can get to the east side of Death Mountain as well.
I think the last thing we don't have access to is Ice Palace because as Chad has been saying, we don't have the mitts.
Yep, we need mitts for Ice Palace, we need mitts for the dark side of... Oh, not so much the dark side. Dark Death Mountain, because it's already the dark side. Because we do need that to get access to Ganon's Tower. Or Turtle Rock is only a pendant, so it's probably not even required to go in there.
All right, Crab Supers is accessible. Crab Supers was just 20 rupees. Aussie heading for Mama Turtle now. 2 items in there. Aussie riding Mama Turtle out of the water. There's an energy tank. That's a vanilla energy tank. And then there's an item on the right side of the wall, so we'll see what that is. Ooh, Aussie missed it. Dr. Sagan 96. Aussie might save the animals for the memes, but that'd probably be it.
I think if Ozzy has a chance to be first, then he's not going to save the animals.
That is also fair to say. Ooh, that's the X-ray scope in the wall.
We just need to find our plasma beam, and then we can microwave Phantoon, because not Phantoon, Dragon, because he's the only one left.
Okay. All right, so we see Old Man Sunshine in the chat. He was racing, but has just in the last few minutes forfeited.
So, Old Man Sunshine, we have found the mirror in Suitless Meridia. We are not sure if it is required to get the gravity suit, but it's looking very possible it is required. The only places we're not really seeing it's going to be Death Mountain and the swamp, ideally.
All right, so Aussie is now in Meridian Main Street. There's an item here that's speed booster locked, but it looks like he's not going to check it.
Yep, so the Moon Pearl was behind Croc. It's the one on the sort of up high ledge that you would probably high jump to or use the grapple beam on the Ripper to get to.
Post Crocomire power bombs.
Yep, Semper got it right. The Vadia suit was available in the Missiles in the Sky, as Semper said.
Meantime, Aussie is back into Norfair.
Semper, you type fast, but we have stream delay to deal with from the time we read the message to when we say it to when it actually gets said on stream.
All right, looks like Aussie is heading... Oh, where did we find Quake?
I'm guessing Quick was somewhere in Meridia, because I don't think he had it going into Meridia. But yeah, we can full clear Mire now.
Engine out saying Quake was in Thieves Town, and no, Grapple was at Mission Impossible, not Lower Norfair. There was something else at Franker Zero.
Franker Z was half magic.
So yeah, Ozzy is taking that Quake and heading for Misery Mire.
Yep, again, without Titans Mitts, Mire is one of these really difficult, or not really difficult, really awkward place to try and get into. Because you have to take this trek through Lower Norfair, which, if you don't have the space jump, requires you to do the Green Gate glitch to get through the back end of it.
Oh, Ozzy's got his mirror too, so that gives him the checkerboard cave to check. It looks like he's going to do that first.
You could also mirror into Desert. Get another two
yes,
checks.
and Desert is a crystal, so yeah. Ooh, there's our wave beam.
Pressing him cutting it close in that modular fight down to just a heart and a half.
Is there anything that could stop Ozzy from finishing up Desert if that's what he wants to do?
Nope, he has the gloves to get access to the back of it, and he has the boots so he can dash the pedestal. So even if the key ends up there, he can just dash through it.
Got it.
There's also a fire source, but again, this is one of these things is like you completely forget that you need it until you get there, and you're like, oh yeah, I need something to light the torches with. I have done that a number of times.
All right, big key on the torch. Metroid trying to climb up Main Street.
So I don't think we saw what this item was on Aussie, because obviously you need the gravity suit to trigger a speed boost inside Meridian.
Yeah,
so I don't think Aussie wasted his time checking it.
Ozzy did not try to check it. Oh no!
That's a fall. Don't want to be falling.
Well, Metroid MST knows exactly what he's doing, so... Okay, Main Street item is just $50. Absolutely not relevant.
What if Samus had to buy upgrades? You're mistaking this game for a game published by EA.
All right, Ozzy. Oh, that's embarrassing. We were talking about Ozzy possibly doing Desert, and I just completely failed to process that he actually was doing it.
Yeah, I was a bit too preoccupied with Metroid MST to see what was on Main Street. Completely forgot that Aussie was in Desert.
Ozzy gets a beautiful one cycle on the land bolus for the magic powder.
Unfortunately, we know it doesn't lead to much.
All right, so from here, most likely Ozzy's going to take his portal back to the Dark World and do Misery Mire. And that will be crystal number 5 for him.
Yeah, so Ozzy's mainly looking for this hook shot or the time smiths.
Is there any arrangement of crystals and pendants that can make the hook shot not required?
No, because you need the hook shot to get over the mini Moldorm, not mini Moldorm, Moldorm 2 from Cannon's Tower.
Oh, right.
Because the bomb jump, you could do the bomb jump, you could hover if you find the Pegasus boots, but they're not required by logic in enemy.
Is that the only sticking point for it? I mean, is there anything in Hyrule itself that hard requires the hook shot?
No, because the only real issue for the hook shot is getting across the water just up from Palace of Darkness, but there's alternate ways of getting in there to the Dark World from there.
Well, to be fair, Lorendrell, swamp is where you normally find it.
So Ricardo's made a good point. Technically, it can be required for Ice Palace because there's a nasty bomb jump. That is the alternative, and I don't think a lot of people know that. So I think you need the hook shot to get through that.
Regaro with a logic bomb for us. If swamp is a pendant, ice is either pendant or friendly key, and blah blah blah, and so on. Hookshot can be not required pre-Ganis Tower. Thank you.
There's 3 locations in Hookshot Cave that's also locked by the hookshot because the first chest you can use the boots to get to.
Right, you can bonk there, right?
Yep, you can just bonk off the first rock and then bonk off the second one. That gets you. Strangely, it covers enough gap for you to get to that chest. It doesn't look like it. It looks like you're just going to land in the pit, but Link does that sort of stutter thing he does when he gets near an edge, and it gives you just enough pull to get back onto the ledge next to the chest.
What have we? Okay, I got a little distracted by the chat there. What have we been seeing in Meyer?
I would guess an early big key for Ozzy to check the big key chest first, because that's not something I usually see people do.
There are 2 prizes here, correct? And yeah, Semper Fire Dog Powder was on Landmolus.
Yeah, there's 2 checks in Meyer. Ideally, you want one of them to be on Vitreous, and you find an early big key, because usually you just go straight to Vitreous at that point.
Ooh, Bressingham takes a death. To be fair, Semper Fire Dog, he one-cycled Landmolus in an absolutely beautiful fight. Dr. Sega, I think there are randomizers for both Wind Waker and Prime.
There is indeed. Speak Gaming just recently finished up a tournament with Metroid Prime Randomizer, and I believe there's talks of a Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Randomizer tournament, but don't quote me on that one.
Although if what you meant was a Wind Waker Prime randomizer like this is, that I have no idea. Would be incredible, though.
I don't know how you would combine those together. So yeah, not combined. I believe there is currently a Wind Waker randomizer tournament going on just now, so there is a version of it available for people to play around. As much as I love randomizers and particularly love the Legend of Zelda ones, I do not like the Wind Waker one because to me it's just very systematic. Of you go to one island, do your checks, go to the next island, do your checks. So to me, it's not my kind of flavor of a randomizer.
All right. Vitreous gives up a small key to Ozzy. I don't know if he found both prizes. Bressingham going to get his tempered sword out of Ice Rod Cave. Well, based on the fact that he's going back in Lavama, I don't think he did. Metroid MST going for the ice beam clip to Moctroid clip to Botwoon, gets it very nicely. That's one of the easier clips to do. I've done that one. Well, Botwoon has 3,000 health, so 10 missiles or 30 supers. 10 supers or 30 missiles. I cannot talk.
Maybe it's one of these worrisome bosses because at the start, when he pokes his head out, you can shoot those sort of orbs to regain your ammo. But after you take him down half health, he stops shooting those. So if you run out of ammo and you don't have the charge beam, that's a soft lock. So you really need to be careful with that fight.
Fortunately, charge beam was fairly early for everyone. So, as I've said, it's not going to be ammo's not going to be a problem aside from lack of beams making the charge beam weak. And there is our last sword post Botwoon. Did we? I think Ozzy would have seen that earlier, but not gotten it.
Ozzy picked it up because for Ozzy, that was his temper sword.
Okay, which one has Ozzy not gotten?
Yeah, I believe it's the one in the Ice Rod Cave he hasn't picked up yet.
Got it. All right, I think Metroid MST is going to go from here. I think he's going to go for Dragon. He's got the equipment to get there. Looks like Ozzy just turning in the green pendant. So Ozzy has 2 crystals and Dragon left, but we still don't have the mitts, and we still don't have the gravity suit. Although with the mirror, we can kind of backdoor to East Death Mountain, right?
Yeah, we can climb up to Tower of Terror as a pendant, so it's not really worth it as it stands. But at this point, we're running out of places to check, so it may be worth just dipping in for those 2 checks. And then we have Eastern Death Mountain, so there's 5 checks in there from the middle side of Paradox. We've got the 2 checks in the lower bit of Paradox, and we also have Spiral Cave we can check.
Okay, going back to the hook shop for a little bit. Is there any way to get to Eastern Dark Death Mountain without that?
Yeah, so if you go up the top, so you need the mirror and the hammer, or you need the hook shot to get to the eastern side of Death Mountain. As Ozzy just did, if you mirror up to hammer, you go right, there's a big long bridge, and at the end of that bridge, you just hammer down some pegs, and then you can jump down to the bottom, and that would get you to the portal.
Alrighty, here we got Spiral Cave, which today is PogChamp Cave because we have the boots. For a heart piece. And I'm noticing that Maximum Barnage had 60 super missiles at his maximum, and that is actually enough to take on Mother Brain without needing the charge beam at all.
He also has 135 normal missiles, which definitely gives him a buffer.
Yeah. Mother Brain has 18,000 health, same as Ridley. She does not take double damage from supers like Ridley does. So it's 60 super missiles, and for everyone that fails, substitute 3 regular missiles. I didn't catch the bottom of Paradox Cave, but top's got 300 rupees, missiles, heart piece, power bombs, Oh, there's our space jump. That could lead us. That might lead us back to the shovel. Ozzy gets the bomb jump across.
Can I still call it if shovel leads to Titans bits, even though it wasn't the mushroom leading to space jump?
And looks like Ozzy's gonna do Hera. He's got all the tools for it. Just what are we hoping? What are we hoping for to make this a quick check? Oh, hey,
Ideally, sorry, on you go.
Yeah, sorry. Metroid MST is now into swamp, so we've got two people doing new things.
President was also checking catfish, which I don't think we've seen either.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, we have it, but that's just a one-off check. And it's just a heart piece.
Yeah, so back to what we were saying earlier. Ideally, you want to find the big key in one of the bottom two checks because that allows you to just go straight up the climb of Hera. You do not want to find the small key because that means that there is an item in the basement and you would have to wait through the cutscene to get to it. If there is, oh, that's a nice rod. If there is, the big key is locked in the basement, you can do a sort of new glitch called the Hera pot. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to jump in the big pot that's on the Hera first floor to get to the fairy room. And when you use the warp zone from the fairy room, it just teleports you like, I think it's the floor where you would normally fall down. So that floor just before he climbed up to Moldorm.
And in the meantime, we have a French vanilla hookshot found in swamp.
That's a nasty troll. Most people will not go into swamp without the Hera, without the hookshot.
Lavama, we are not in go mode yet. We still do not have the Titan's mitts, among other things. So we do not have access to Weiss Palace, which is a crystal. Old Man Sunshine, you can indeed finish Super Metroid without the gravity suit. Some of the newer tool-assisted routes for low percent actually don't get the gravity suit.
I think the last task of Super Metroid I seen just had them clip through a door and just trigger the escape sequence immediately and just go, all right, I'm out of here. it's like 5 minutes.
And Old Man Sunshine, yes, as Bressingham is demonstrating here, it is possible to get to Dragon without the gravity suit. And again, since this is the hard setting for the logic, it can be expected. Dr. Sagan 96, yes, it is a pain in the butt. It was one of the things I like back when I was playing on DSNES like a decade ago. Sula's Meridia for a max completion, no boss, no mini boss run was one of the things I would use save state abuse for.
I don't know, I just refused to learn it because it's just too much time.
Right. I note that Bressingham does not have the spring ball, which is going to make escaping from Dragon's room pretty tricky. Okay, what is he doing? Oh, he's setting up so he can crystal flash. That's one of the ways to do it, because if Dragon hits you with his goop and grabs you out of a crystal flash, it gives you a free shine spark. Or this could be the gravity suit. Or not.
I think if that was gravity suit, that would be a waste of a setup, and that's like the worst time to get it.
Yes, that would absolutely be the worst. All right, Semper Firedog pointed out we're about to have King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge checked, so we'll see what these two are. There's another energy tank at Graveyard Ledge.
Metroid MST about to finish off Argus from the Swamp Palace. So I haven't seen anything of importance on Swamp.
Well, MST did find the hookshot. All right, so what Bressingham is doing here is going for the grapple kill on Dragon, I believe. Oh no, I'm wrong. What he's gonna try to get Dragon. Oh, I don't think that worked out the way he wanted. Yeah, he's trying to get Dragon to drop him on the ledge at the top.
I would ask if that's kind of counterintuitive because the door to check the item is down the bottom.
All right, so he's going for the grapple kill by latching onto one of the exposed broken turrets with the grappling beam. Okay, so he's probably going to go for the grapple jump strat to get up to the ledge, and then use the shine spark to get out of the pre-Dragon room.
So yeah, chat pointing out that Metroid MST has missed, so he is now in the Ice Palace.
LSS?
Left side Swamp. Oh, Swamp does actually pay off then.
Oh my.
Dang, these other runners trying out new strategies on bosses that I've never seen before and thus distracting me from the cool item finds.
I know. All right, so Bressingham used the shine spark to get out of Dragon's room, but I think he doesn't have a way to get out of this room now. And judging by Bressingham's comment in the race channel, he is acknowledging that as well. Yep, there's the reset. All right, so
Did Bressingham at least check to see what the item was there before resetting?
He didn't.
Because I think Bressingham could at least have went back in, checked the item, and then went, okay, it's definitely not important. I don't have to worry about coming back here later.
And the worst thing is, it could be gravity back there. And so the last thing we might need is that gravity suit. If we can find a way out of Dragon, other than that, we're in go mode. Okay, it looks like Ozzy is heading for the Meyer area because I don't think there's anything left in. Wait. Oh no, he's gonna go get that shovel and check the dig spot.
That's a play, considering we now know where Hookshot and Timesmiths are. So the only thing that could be there potentially is Gravity Suit. Or it could be the book and send them off on a wild goose chase.
That would be awful. You need to stop. So the Chozo he just used is the one I was talking about way back like an hour ago. If you don't have the space jump, he won't drain the lava, and you can't make it here. Looks like Metroid MST bum rushed ice to get to Cold Stare, using bombos to break Cold Stare's shell.
Yep, it was one bombos versus all 9 of your fire rod shots to open that shell. And
I thought it was 8 shots.
I believe you need a full magic power. Which
No, I mean, I thought full magic power was 8 shots.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 10% is 8 as well. Okay, so maybe it's 8 shots, which is what you need to break open the shell. So you're sacrificing the time it takes to cast bombos versus being able to use the fire rod in the fight itself.
Alrighty, looks like. Not sure where Ozzy. Oh, okay, Ozzy's checking K45. For a pack of missiles, which he's not going to bother collecting.
So chat, what do you think? Is it the shovel spot?
And then, yeah, the Grove is right here. Grove and the shovel spot are right here.
It's a full art container.
Wah, wah.
So ideally, Ozzy needs to make the dive into Swamp Palace now. So Metroid picking up his wave beam. That'll give him 2 beams to his beam combo.
Bressingham checking the left sand pit. All right, Ozzy is making the Swamp Palace play. Meantime, Barnett shows off some of the tricks, one of the little tricks of using water physics. Water physics are interesting. You build your momentum very slowly, but it also decays very slowly too. So if you get going really fast, like by having gravity suit and accelerating and jumping to get the start of a jump, and then you turn gravity off to switch back to water physics, you can send yourself sailing upward really fast. Well, not fast, but really far.
Yep, so one of the tricks to maneuver through Meridia when you've not got any real movement, but you do at least the gravity suit, you can use what's called a gravity jump, which is what Big Bob just described there. You can also use it in the lava dive to get through that room without any sort of help from a jumping upgrade.
The gravity jump is also one of the ways to make the lava dive into Lower Norfair easier if you've got it at that point.
Although what it is important to remember about the gravity suit is in this version of it, it has been nerfed. It no longer protects you from environmental effects like it does in the vanilla game, because in the vanilla game, if you get gravity before you get Varia, you get the effects of having both suits, whereas in this you only get the benefit of the gravity suit on its own. The Varia has been remained as a sort of isolated case, and it's to simply stop it becoming a redundant object, essentially.
There's one specific thing that the barrier protects against that gravity doesn't. Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam. Barrier reduces it by half to 300 instead of 600, but Gravity Suit doesn't affect it at all. So, which part of Left Side Swamp was Mitz in? Oh, there's only 2 chests on Left Side Swamp?
Yeah, so he's got the hook shot, so it doesn't really matter which one he goes for first, because you could just, well, you should really go for the left side first and then hook shot across to the right. If you don't have the hook shot is where that becomes a problem, where you have to decide, do I go on the left hole first or the right hole first?
Okay, so moment of truth. Is Ozzy going to go back in for Left Side Swamp, or is he going to go chase that hook shot?
He's not. He looks like he's walking away.
Oh no.
That is a major oof.
All right. I think at this point we can say Metroid MST has the largest advantage in this race. Although it could easily swing back to Aussie if he doesn't take too long to go back to Swamp.
So Ozzy's probably done something that I like to do on occasions, which is think of, yep, I'm going to do this plan, I'm going to go through these checks, and then he's got to the end of the swamp and realised, oh, I could do a big bomb chest now from the fairy, and has now went off on a tangent to do that, completely forgot about going back in to check those left side swamp chests.
And Pyramid Fairy is junk.
Yep, so the Titan's Mitts are in the left side swamp, which Ozzy has decided to skip. The other question, of course, is like, did he find both the compass and the map, or is he assuming that one of the dungeon items is also over there? So it's only one check versus going away to check out these other locations.
All right, Metroid MST is actually about to have his 7th crystal.
Speaking of weird about being eliminated, I don't think anyone checked Spike Cave on Dark Death Mountain. So there's always a chance that it's there too. Spike Cave was checked, I just didn't see it. Okay, fair enough. Tiara is a pendant, so it's the one place you don't want to be going.
Hey, Brett. Okay, right there. You saw Bressingham's reserve tanks refill him, and then as soon as they were done, he took another hit. Like I mentioned earlier, that happened because the reserve tanks filled him from auto mode, and his invincibility frames ran out while he was being refilled.
He was in contact with one of those pink pirates too, and they had a lot. That's not something you want to be sitting in when your invincibility frames are running out. It's why, despite probably having all 4 reserve tanks and being at full, is why he came out of it and only had 1 energy tank left. Is they just constantly ticked out, and each time you get hit, those invincibility frames will run out again, and then you'll just keep getting hit.
Alrighty, Metroid MST looks like he's gonna go do Ridley at this point.
Yep, Metroid has collected all the 7 crystals he needs for Link to the Past, so he mainly has to go clear out Super Metroid and potentially find this gravity suit, or just do it without gravity suit.
Yeah, with the equipment he has, he's not going to have much trouble with Ridley. And the only trouble with Dragon will be, as we saw on Bressingham's side, getting there and getting out. Old Man Sunshine, Mirror was at watering hole.
So I think we have pretty much established that a suitless Meridia was required to get the mirror, and that opened up the sort of remaining locations inside Link to the Past, with the Titan's Mitts being inside Swamp Palace.
Okay, Ozzy is going back to Red's ship. What is he doing?
Did he check the E-Tank?
He didn't. That is what he's doing. Okay, yeah, he's retracing his steps now. I don't understand why he would do this first instead of going to left side swamp, which we know is what he needs.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're getting to this point where you start double guessing what checks you've skipped in case you made a commitment there and then that, yep, that's not important, I'm not going to do it. But how long does it take that little niggle in the back of your head to say, that may have been an important item, I should probably go back and check it?
For Ozzy's sake, I hope he didn't mismark his tracker, because that would absolutely be a tragedy.
Yeah, one of the costs of going on a tangent is if you think to yourself, I'm definitely doing these checks and then I'm going to do this, and then you go off on a tangent, you still think to yourself, I've already did that check. So it may get a case of he has marked off the left side of swamp, and it'll probably be much later on before he realizes that that was where he's missed out. The sort of benefit to that at this stage of the game is he's already checked out most of the locations. So it won't take him too long to sort of go back and realize, oh, that was the one I missed.
Okay, he's in a good spot to check that now. So here's hoping that's what he's doing. Yep, that's what he's doing. All right, I think at this point it's fair to say that this is going to be between Aussie and Metroid MST.
Yep, so Metroid finishing off Ridley. Still has to go and do Dragon, which without our gravity suit is a bit of a pain and will take a lot of time to get to. Once Ozzy gets his Titan Smiths, he'll be able to do Ice Palace, and possibly won't find the gravity suit, and will then have the same issues as Metroid MST to try and get to Dragon and deal with him.
So Lavama, for your benefit, I'm Big Bot.
And I am Thoris. I'm the Scottish one that's trying to not sound Scottish because when I talk Scottish, people can't understand me.
And I'm from Ohio, so I don't have much of an accent at all. All right, Bressingham is heading up Hera. Barnage is going ahead and checking the basement. Do we know if there's a prize down here?
I only saw one of the items, which was the ice rod. I didn't see another one.
As a matter of fact, Elviol, I'm only about an hour from Sandusky.
So it's just missiles on the basement of her, so definitely worth skipping.
And Aussie 101's got his mitts. And considering Aussie 101's skill, we can definitely call his go mode now. He knows how to fight Dragon and get out without the gravity suit.
Yep, so straight rush to Ice Palace, and then awkwardly try and get back to the Dark World, because then you could use the back door into Meridia to get the Dragon easier. Ice Palace is one of these funny ones, because you can't get out of Ice Palace once you go into it, with the way the world's set up. Fox, we will have no conversations about other M in chat, please. That's banned in the server.
What I've heard about other M is that the gameplay is not bad, but the way Samus is characterized makes it suck.
The only time I've really seen it is through a speed run, and it just feels really. There's a word for it, and I don't know if I can say it on this channel, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I definitely think that adding the voice to Samus was not the brightest of moves.
All right, Barnage getting the ship save in. Metroid MST is over to Eastern Dark Death Mountain. All right, so if Metroid MS, okay, real quick, guys, let's get some guesses in for which of the 22 locations in the Gaines Tower where the big key can be. I'm gonna go with what I always go. 4 always wins.
I like to pick anything that's not the right side, because every time I go right, it's never there.
And no, Miss Metroid, we have not found Gravity Suit is nowhere to be found.
Yep, we have Hookshot Cave to check, and pretty much Toro Rock is, I think, is the only other place we haven't checked. And I don't think any of our runners are going to be dipping into Toro Rock for the gravity suit.
In the meantime, we have had a second forfeit. Obscure Life Form has thrown in the towel.
Yeah, there are some other locations that were locked by Titan Smiths, like the Smith Chain and Hammer Pegs, that could also have the gravity, but if that's the case, then yeah, we have 100% confirmed that the Suitless Meridia was required to get that mirror.
Meantime, Metroid MST found the other mail upgrade in the Hookshot Cave. And it looks like he is going for the floating island item. This must be something valuable because he must have seen it.
No, I don't think Metroid MST checked it because of the way he's navigated through Death Mountain.
Well then. All right, Asi is also. All right. Let's go for the. Let's restart the guessing game because it looks like Asi. Oh no, I'm wrong. Metroid MST will indeed get there first. I was thinking for a second that Asi was going to get there first. I was wrong.
Metroid literally was having the debate of, do I go Turtle Rock or do I just do Ganon? Do I do Turtle Rock or just... He went back and forth a good number of times there.
All right, Metroid MST starting with the right side. One and two for missiles and a small key.
Yeah, so just a couple of ground rules when it comes to the GT guessing game. It only counts for the first player going into GT. So if Ozzy joins and then went right side and finds the key first, it doesn't matter. It only counts for Metroid MST's time inside Ganon's Tower.
Miss Metroid, he did not. Not that I saw. Four is
Speaking
a small
of-
key.
Speaking
5
of
is
Spring
300
Ball,
rupees.
we still haven't found Shaq Tool yet.
And there it is, number 7. All right, okay for sure. This is gonna come down to execution and who's better at Suitless Meridia. Unless we, yeah, and since this is we cannot find Gravity Suit in Ganon's Tower, correct?
Yes, there is no progression for Super Metroid locked in Ganon's Tower. I'm not sure how that logic applies to sort of the hard mode and what you can get away with doing to get around certain logic locks, but I believe Gravity Suit, or pretty much any major item, cannot be in Ganon's Tower. It's really possible to find like a lot of beams in Ganon's Tower, because beams are just added damage to your weapon. They're not required in any way, shape, or form.
I think Charge Beam is considered progression, but that's the only one.
So I definitely know in normal mode, Charge Beam is required for Ridley. I'm not sure if there's logic in place to check ammo or to determine if charge is actually required for Ridley. I know we've had this conversation hundreds of times and I can never remember if it is required or not.
Alright, Metroid MST into the fourth floor gauntlet of escalating bullcrap. Start off with enemies and conveyors. Then you add a laser.
Choose to use silver arrows, which I wouldn't recommend using in the gauntlet because they lag the shine up.
Then after that, you add a second laser and you add some spikes to the mix. And we cap it all off by adding ice. Because why not?
Depressing, just skip Left Side Swamp.
I think so. Meantime, Asi writes a book called The Wizrobe Massacres as Metroid MST is struggling with Landmolus 2. And now we have The Wizrobe Massacres 2, Electric Boogaloo. Alrighty. Ozzy is just about to Moldorm 2. We'll see if he's got any insanity for us over here.
Yep, he has the bombs out.
Alrighty, let's see if it happens. He got it. Nice.
So you do this just for the swag. It would have been much faster for him to just finish off Moldorm and use the hookshot, but that's no fun.
Looks like started off with the double. Might have been a triple, but I don't think they were too close. I think two of them were too close. There's another double. Oh, faded out too fast. 5. 8 again, faded out too fast. 6. Very clean fight. Okay, Aussie, I think you're having a little too much fun with the explosives.
I think we should say someone around us has to take the bombs away from them. Having too much fun.
All right, what's Gannon got to say to us today? All right, so with Buttersword, we've got six slashes for phase 1 and phase 2. Then phase 3 is always 4 slashes, and then phase 4 is just stunning with the sword, and then 4 silver arrows.
Yeah, we definitely should not have an issue with this fight. We are well armed.
Was Aussie just throwing bombs down the pit?
Yes, I believe he is. He has too many bombs.
Is he doing spin strats? No, he's not. And a triple! Very nice. Get your single G's in chat for Aussie 101. Omega Boon 3D, among other things, his execution has been amazing, and he also bomb jumped to skip Moldorm too.
Metroid would be grateful he picked up that fairy. He took a little bit of a hug off Ganon there, and
That's one of the
still
hardest hitting
hurt.
attacks in the game, right?
Yep, even with red mail, it still does a substantial amount of damage.
Right, so it looks like Ossie's heading for Dark Ice Rod to take the cross-game transition.
And Metroid getting the final silver arrow into Ganon, so get your single G's in chat for Metroid.
All right, so I'm curious what everyone thinks. Once Aussie finishes off Dragon and escapes, is he gonna go cross country back to the ship in Datorian, or is he gonna pop into the Link to the Past transition for the autosave and then hard reset?
So I think if you have gravity, it's probably slightly faster to just go cross country because you can use the criteria escape and go from Meridia up to Brinstar to top of Red Terra that takes you to the ship essentially, and that allows you to recharge there. I personally prefer to just use the reset option.
This seed was really stingy with beams. We only found charge, ice, and wave. Yeah, Lavama, it could be, because Bressingham did not check that item before heading out and softlocking himself. Oh, it can't be there. I didn't know that. All right, now. Oh, Ossie's got the X-ray scope. He can X-ray climb out of there. Well, missed the setup a little bit. Gotta reset. If anyone in chat knows how the X-ray climb works, feel free to jump in here, because I don't.
Yep, I have no understanding how this works. I think it's some weird combination of hitting L, R, jumping, and triggering your X-ray on and off, essentially. Allows you to move up just this little bit at a time. And you can just do that to sort of wrap around the screen, essentially.
Based on what I'm seeing, it looks like what's happening is he crouches, activates the X-ray scope, which forces him into a standing position, and that pushes him up bit by bit. All right, I'm pretty comfortable saying this is Ossie's race to lose at this point. Technolink, no. The vanilla Dragon reward is the space jump. You get gravity suit from Phantoon. Yep, Ossie is gonna head back to Link to the Past. Probably save and quit immediately.
So I think Metroid's done a sensible thing for himself, which is if you're not comfortable doing Suitless Meridia, then don't waste your time trying to go and find the gravity suit, no matter what the time cost is going to be.
Meantime, we've got Bressingham going through Mire. Barnage looks like he's about to do Swamp. He'll get his hook shot and his mitts.
Titans mitts, assuming he does left side and not skip it. Metroid finding plasma beam at hammer pegs.
Finding what?
He found his plasma beam.
Oh, hot stuff.
I don't think Metroid picked up the X-ray scope from Mama Turtle though, so unfortunately would not be able to microwave
Yeah, he did not.
Dragon when he gets there.
Alright, Metroid MST getting the Smith chain started. Probably gonna do the purple chest at the same time.
Yeah, but it's not as annoying if you have the float, because you can just float to number 7 and just walk left. Ideally, if you were already here with Titan's Mitts, you would like connect it in with a lot of the Southern Hyrule checks, but unfortunately didn't get the mitts till after that.
Thank you, Semper Fire Dog. That's absolutely an image I needed in my head. Ozzy has enough energy tanks to do the stand-up glitch versus Mother Brain, but I doubt he's actually going to because of his beam combination. He absolutely does. I don't think he has enough damage on his beam to make it worth bothering. He is, however, going for the baby Metroid skin. Almost there. He got it. Blue smoke, yes, left side swamp. Meantime, in the race chat, we've got Solsky having forfeited. Says something about a really problematic soft lock.
Yeah, so I think if Miss Metroid's in the chat, she would be able to provide a bit more information, but it sounds like Sosuke got really aggravated with that one.
Meantime, Aussie is through Mother Brain phase 1. She has 3,000 health in that phase, and you have to hit at least 18 projectiles to break the glass all the way. Oh, he's using X Factors.
He's really really doing some swag strats with it.
As I mentioned earlier, each X Factor particle does 300 damage, equivalent to 1 super missile. So that was really good. Mother Brain attempting to terrorize Aussie with the exploding hand ray, also known as the catch-up beam. You might also have seen her deliver some onion rings, tater tots, and french fry beams.
So I just saw what happened to Sosuke, and I can really understand his frustration from that moment. That was weird.
Luckily, we've got a little downtime. I'm going to check that too. What the heck?
It's pretty good, isn't it?
How?
So I've dropped it in chat for anyone who wants to watch it. I would advise you to turn your volume down just a little bit though.
What two things exactly did he do at the same time, Regaro?
He got zapped and then he got grabbed at the same time.
Oh. Alright, and Aussie is now transitioning to having the Hyper Beam, which is 1,000 damage a shot rapid fire. This phase of Mother Brain has 36,000 health, so 36 shots and she'll go bye-bye.
In the meantime, we can safely say that Maximum and Barnage did pick up their Titan's nuts as they are now entering Ice Palace. So they did not skip out the left side swamp.
Regaro, thank you for that explanation.
Engineer makes a good point. Solsky did have the gravity suit, so I wonder where Solsky went to pick it up. I think given all the checks that we've got, that is most likely in Turtle Rock.
Alrighty, Solsky has now... Asi has finished in first place with a time of 3 hours, 2 minutes, 21. We'll see if we can get him in for an interview.
GG Aussie.
Alrighty, we are joined by Aussie 101. Congratulations on your first place finish.
GG.
Hey, GG.
So those mitts.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I figured they couldn't be right next to the hookshot. Like, if anything, the hookshot would lock the next progression item. So that's why I went to Pyramid Fairy.
You never know when the seed's gonna cluster items together like that. Like we had, what, 2 swords in close proximity in early supers and then Big Pink?
Yep. And then had that early sword in Ice Rock Cave that I didn't get until really late.
Okay, so Aussie, here's my first question for you. In terms of your routing throughout the seed, what did you feel best about?
So I liked waiting till Mirror to go to Desert Mire the second lap around. I then didn't like that I got Space Jump right after that on Death Mountain. But if I just decided not to chase the Space Jump, then that would have been really good.
Yeah, the space jump to shovel was absolutely a waste of time. That was unfortunate.
I did figure it was a Suitless Meridia Seed, like, before too late. Like, I didn't chase a whole lot of one-offs. Like, I didn't try to turn in my Green Pendant before going to Meridia.
Yeah, between the restream runners, we have not seen Gravity.
I was guessing Turtle Rock.
Solsky had it in the clip he showed of what happened to him, so he knows where it is, but he hasn't said anything.
I believe we were going under the assumption it is Turtle Rock because I think we've seen every other location.
Meantime, Metroid MST is up there, and Turtle Rock is also Quake.
I think if we had Spring Ball, then Solsky would have gone for the Suitless Dragon kill like I did. But I don't think he can do the X-ray climb or the spike suit or blue suit out.
And if I can ask a question about that, how exactly does the X-ray climb work? I'm not really familiar with it.
There's two parts to it. The first is getting stuck in the door. You have to enter the door transition a particular way with a door check, which means doing a spin away from the door. So you gotta get stuck in a standing position. And then the X-ray climb part. So X-ray forces you to stand if you're crouching and turning around when you release it. So by crouching and X-raying, you're forced to move up a pixel every time you do it. And that pushes you up through the wall.
That was kind of how I think. That was kind of what I figured was happening, but I wasn't 100% sure. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, so my other standard question, Ozzy. On a letter grade scale, how much fun did you have today?
Gotta see. I really didn't like the dungeon layouts. Like, they were all bad. Every single dungeon had bad layout. Like, Hera Basement had an item. Eastern had the vanilla big key. Pod had the early big key that you couldn't use. Swamp had hookshot, and left side had an item. Skullwoods, it was early fire rod, where the front had the items. Meyer, we got the second item last in the cutscene chest. So all the dungeons felt bad.
Yeah, this was definitely a pretty trolly seed, even for this game.
But the progression layout was pretty fun. It was interesting.
Yeah, I've mentioned before, this is the kind of seed I like. There was a lot of variation in what you and the other runners were doing. That's what I prefer, as opposed to one word through who can do it fastest.
Yeah. Like, this did still have the locations that you would want to do last. Like, pop up to the Suitless Meridia and the Hook and Swamp. And so most people probably do everything else first, and then it turns into execution. But you have the option of gambling. I like that I didn't bail on Wreck Ship this time, because I was really close to doing it.
Yeah, not bailing definitely paid off, since you had the various who had missiles in the sky.
Whether I do the top or not is often dependent on my movement items. And here I had high jump and ice, and that lets me get the sky missile really quick. I had 3 reserves and no E-tanks for Fantoon.
Yeah, that's one of the worst combinations you can have, on account of if you have 3 full reserves, no energy tanks, and you autofill, you lose the extra 200. So, how about this question, Ozzy? What was the worst part of the seed for you?
Missing Mitts was bad. What else? I don't really know. My route through up Red Tower to Fantoon first, it got me some items, but it ended up being a slower than, like, a start from ship route because it gave me the items to do Lower Norfair. And so I had to do Brindley just to get like supers and E-tanks. And all the progression was also there. So not taking the risk of going to Fantoon and leaving behind X-Ray would have been faster.
Real quick, we have Old Man Sunshine in chat saying Gravity was on Laser Bridge.
I believe gravity is the only thing that can be on Laser Bridge because we've seen everything else. It's either on Laser Bridge or Trinex has it, but Solsky hadn't finished Turtle Rock on his clip, so I imagine it's got to be on the Laser Bridge.
Could be Shacktool. If Spring Ball was somewhere.
Spring Ball is unaccounted for.
That's true. Spring Ball could be on Turtle Rock, Laser Bridge, and and then Gravity could be Shacktool.
But Solsky probably beats.
Yeah. Where did we find Ice Rod?
Ice Rod was in Terror Power.
Oh, right.
We never saw an invulnerability item for Link to the Past, the Cape of the Blue Cane.
No, we saw 2 shields. We collected one. Well, there's Spazer on. There's Spazer on Laser Bridge. Yeah, then the second shield we saw was at one of the sand pits. Magic Cape on Laser Bridge? Spazer and Magic Cape. No gravity suit.
Have we overlooked a really obvious place or something?
Did we not check Waterway?
I checked Waterway. It's rubies.
I'll be all like, Bumper Ledge is just a heart piece.
The green pendant was just money. Yeah.
Graveyard Ledge was nothing.
Yep. I got that ice rod and I was ready for pedestal seed. But then I found hook shot before mitts.
Metroid, don't go any further. You don't have the ice rod. You cannot kill Trinex.
I think he just realized that. In the meantime, Bressingham is into the business center while Barnage is doing Aga 2.
Should we have done Shacktool early because we knew where the ice beam was? Or we had the ice beam, sorry.
You need Spring Ball for Shacktool.
God, what even is this seed? Well, Metroid MST is checking Turtle Rock, checking Tower of Hera, blah, I cannot talk. So he will get his ice rod out of this.
Did he save the portal on Laser Bridge?
I have no idea.
No, because he mirrored up to Turtle Rock.
Oh, no, yeah, he saved the grid out of Turtle Rock.
I didn't expect him to, but that's something people do. Save your Laser Bridge portal, and go to Hera, get the Ice Rod, and finish Turtle Rock.
Alright, Bressingham is climbing Main Street. or trying to.
Ozzy, do you remember getting all 3 items from Ice Palace?
I didn't know. I go moded ice.
Because I don't remember if we've seen all 3 items.
None of the Broho. Hero Basement is nothing.
So at this point, Metroid is looking for the gravity suit, and I believe it's because he's not comfortable either getting to Dragon and killing him or getting it out of the room, as we don't have something like Spring Ball. I don't even think Metroid has X-ray to do the X-ray climb, so I think he's desperately looking for the gravity suit at this point because it's his only essential lock, because he's already completed Link to the Past and defeated Ganon.
Yeah, I didn't actually put any thought into like planning to use X-ray when I picked it up. I just wanted to have it just because, and it ended up being useful.
Did you have any other way out of precious missiles other than the X-ray climb?
Yeah, I could have got a blue suit off of getting grabbed in a crystal flash. But that's not something I've practiced. It's not too bad to do, but it's easy to fail at too. You have to time your spark kind of precisely.
So Metroid MST grabbing the Hera Basement item as Barnage is on his way to Dragon. All right, Barnage has the X-ray scope, so if he knows how to X-ray climb, he's got that to get out. Then just needs a way to get up to the ledge.
We also still don't know what's actually behind Dragon because no one has checked it.
Yeah, I saw the Solski clip. Normally that happens when you're starting a dash and you get grabbed. So I guess it has to do with getting knocked back from taking damage and then getting grabbed, like on the same frame as something or other.
Yeah, Regaro in chat mentioned that Link to the Past basically cannot handle two different events occurring at the same time or one frame apart, and that's where a lot of the glitches in it come from.
So Brittingham is having a problem, which is they skipped out on Left Side Swamp and therefore don't have the Titan's Mitts, and appears to be checking every other location without going back and checking those 2 checks. So just 20 rupees behind our Dragon, behind our big fish.
Barnett gets the grapple jump, but is too far over and hits the bottom of the outcropping. Does it again. All right, Bressingham is back into okay, just resetting to his convenience save. All right, depending how Barnage does here, he had enough energy to enough ammo to crystal flash twice.
Have we seen Bressingham try to snail climb? Up the left side. Above the save station.
We have not, but I think don't you need gravity for the snail climb anyway?
That's for the clip to the
Oh, for the
output
clip. Okay,
outputs.
okay, I misunderstood.
But you can snail climb up the left side. I powerbombed the powerbomb blocks and wall jumped.
Oh, right, you did do that.
But it seemed like he was having trouble going up the main streetway to get to the crab shaft.
Cheesenator suggesting it's possible Bressingham is looking up a tutorial on how to do the ice clip, which I wouldn't. It's a rough trick. I wouldn't blame him.
You can't do the ice clip without gravity.
Oh, you can't? I thought it was just the snail clipping aqueduct you couldn't do without gravity.
That's the same idea here.
Oh,
actually, he can do it with X-ray, but the regular ice clip he can't do.
All right, moment of truth. Try next down. Oh, God.
That is not something you want to see at this point. We can confirm, however, Solskjaer did not have the book. So this is going to be a wild goose chase.
I don't know if I want to laugh or cry right now. Looks like Bressingham, just resetting the room.
So he can get up through the grapple block with a flatly jump. He could X-ray climb up. He could use ice and X-ray to clip, or he could do a suitless crystal flash clip.
Metroid MSC giving us our ped check.
But more importantly, is he going to read it first, or is he just going to pull it?
Who knows? This scene is just a flippin' train wreck.
$20.
Where did Barnage find ether? Oh, GT. Night of the Broho, yeah. From what I could tell, Lumberjack was a red ruby, but all of the checks of it were very, very fast.
Carnage is out.
All right, so Barnage just has Mother Brain left, and we still have no other finishes. So Barnage could take second place. Shackle is impossible without Spring Ball or gravity itself.
And you need space jump if you're going up through the grapple block, which Pressingham doesn't have.
Game by Claire, that is correct. Cape Ledge is nothing. I think it's a heart piece.
Metroid returning to Ice Palace, so maybe we'll see what we missed.
If this is it, oh gosh. What do we have left in Ice Palace itself? Like, what did we not see?
I believe it's the right side, essentially, because everyone's go moded it.
Alrighty, Barnage is heading into Torian as Metroid MST is heading for what he has not checked in Ice. Not sure what Bressingham has in mind.
This is where you stare at a map and think, did I go there? Yes. Did I go there? Yes. Did I definitely go there? Maybe I didn't. Better go double check.
Looks like Barnage is intentionally taking damage from the Metroids. I'm not sure to what end. There's the compass.
Oh, his controller was unplugged.
There's some power bombs.
So for anyone wondering, Resonum is indeed doing in middle of the race, doing some research into what he can still do. And Maximum Barnish's son unplugged the controller. So that's why he was standing there taking Metroid.
There's the map. Yeah, Cheese Knitter. I don't think we've seen Ice Tea.
It's got to be there. Surely it's got to be there.
There's nothing else left, is there?
Maximum
Okay,
Barnage now in slow motion from being grabbed by the baby Metroid.
No, that's Pants Room. So we haven't seen Ice. Did we see the big chest?
I don't remember seeing it.
Okay, so bare minimum, we have at least Ice Tea and big chest left.
So for those wondering what Barnage what just happened to Maximum Barnage, if you get grabbed by the baby Metroid as you screen transition, you get stuck in that sort of slow state that you're in when he's grabbed you and you sort of walk ever so slowly. And the only way to fix it is to reset your game. So you have to walk all the way to that same point and then save to then reset.
Okay, Aaron Norman 93. Is this any better? Yeah, just had to adjust my positioning. And honestly, Cheese Knitter, yeah, just okay, he got it, but yeah, time like this with this much ammo, I would just do the Zebatites the usual way.
Yeah, pretty much. If you have the ammo, it's better to kill them out instead of resetting the room.
All right, so it looks like Bressingham is done looking things up, is ready to give the ice clip another try. All right, Metroid MST. I think he's coming up to Ice T here. Yep, here.
Moment of truth. Yay!
Finally! Oh God, that is awful.
It was right there the whole time. Everyone had access to it.
Right there in the Crystal Dungeon.
Some rage flashes from Metroid. Absolutely don't blame him.
It sounded like he can do some forms of the Dragon escape, but not the specific item combination that he has.
Yeah, so Metroid definitely heading for the dark ice rod to use the cross game transition. Romeo and Jones, they were in left side swamp.
That's one of those checks that, from a Link to the Past perspective, you should skip it because you've got all the items you need to finish it. You generally just need the crystal. So you're probably in that mindset of, if I can just do this unfinished, and then you get back to Super Metroid and you're like, oh, I need the gravity suit. Where could it be?
So MST was looking for like alternatives to Gravity Suit 2, and like Spring Ball specifically, and that can be in GT. So between that and Turtle Rock right after, he had a good shot of finding a way to beat Dragon, but it didn't work out.
That Beyond didn't work out.
Yeah, that couldn't have gone worse.
Bressingham, you're so close, you just have to use the X-ray scope.
Yeah, I think most people don't know that X-ray makes ice clips easier.
So, what do you think is a more apt word for this seed? Trollmaster or Trainwreck?
I'm feeling Trainwreck.
Now, Bressingham trained to Crystal Flash, but you have to have under 50. Okay, I guess Seasonator's right. It only technically requires Soulless Watering Hole, but all the checks that didn't get made. Meantime, Barnage has finished in second place at 339.29. We'll see if we can get him in.
The seed also forced us to isolate item locations, and then gave us like speed was late and mirror was late. So yeah, so many orphan locations.
All right, Bressingham is actually taking a meal break, but does plan on finishing the seed. So, all right, Metroid MST actually has the full beam slate, charge, ice wave, space, or plasma. So we might see the stand-up glitch from him. All right, Barnage has agreed to the interview. We don't have him in the chat yet. Alrighty, we are joined by Maximum Barnage. GG.
Yep, GG.
GG everyone. Am I coming through?
You are coming through, but Miss Metroid has informed me that we do need to do this fairly quick. The channel will be needed shortly, so real quick.
Heck yeah, I
Barnage.
imagine so.
All right, real quick, Barnage. Question number one: what did you feel best about in terms of your routing?
I don't know. I didn't feel too bad about the whole route, honestly. Like I felt like I did things that made sense. It's just, the route wasn't really meant to work out. So there wasn't a whole lot I could have done better to route, except I don't know. I paused the Ice Palace because I realized that I didn't have the gravity suit and kind of like didn't remember that at that point. So that turned up to bite me if the gravity suit ended up being there.
It was in iced tea.
Oh, geez. Okay. I could have even gone to get it after I paused that. It's so tilting. Okay.
And second question, letter grade on how much fun you had.
That A plus plus. This heat was great. It was super fun. I mean, there was a lot going on with the seed. I mean, like I got to do all the hard mode stuff. So, I mean, like it, it was really a wild ride from beginning to end. I was really hoping for that spring ball at the end to make me not have to X-ray climb because it's been forever since I've done that. But you know, that's how it is.
Yeah, Spring Ball is still unaccounted for. We're kind of wondering if Bressingham is going to find it at the vanilla location.
Oh yeah, no, I guess I guess that is possible. Wow, that's awful. I mean, he has gravity. He doesn't need the spring ball though.
Yeah, it's just this. Watching this seed has been just so much cringe from me.
Yeah, I guess Solsky soft locked too, so there was that.
Yeah, that was that whole. I saw that clip. That was terrible.
Yeah, yeah. I played it on my. I actually was watching it on my stream and didn't realize that my stream audio was on. And was like, oh shoot. So I hope that didn't come through on stream. But well, anyway, it's not often that you get to do a seed where you get to do CWJ and you know multiple lava dives and all the suitless Meridia stuff, multiple ways, an X-ray climb, a gravity-less, not Batu, Dragon escape.
Yeah,
The, the whole
yeah,
thing
there was a
crazy.
lot of good stuff to watch in this seed. It's just so sad that just worked out so terribly for all involved.
Yeah, I guess I could have finished a lot faster if I just grabbed some items in Ice Palace, but
You were still second place.
yeah, it worked. I mean, it worked out. I think Solsky would have had me by about a good 15 to 20 minutes. So, if he'd been able to finish. So, well, anyway, I mean, I could stay and talk about the seed all day, but I know that you've got to get along. So,
All right, so I guess we're gonna let you go, and thanks for coming in for the interview.
yeah, thank you guys for the restream and for commentary and tracking. So, take care. Have a good night.
You too. Aussie, do you have any final words?
No.
Alrighty, well, you have a good night too, and I think we're gonna have to call this as soon as Metroid MST is done.
So yep, there's going to be another race coming up on this channel. I believe it's just a link to the cash randomizer race. So
Yeah, the bracket
links-
stage of that tournament just started, I believe Regaro told me.
yep, so the links are in chat for our runners. Please drop into their channels, give them a follow. If you want to see President finish, because I believe he's going to finish after he has food break, go over there, watch him, show him some support, and follow our trackers. And that was Semper and Hugo, and of course follow my co-commentator Big Box.
And as I said, Thoris could use a follow as well. Alrighty, and with that, Bressingham has forfeited.
Just after I tell everybody to go and watch him, he forfeits. How inconsiderate.
And Metroid MST has finished in third place at 3 hours 47:30.
Get your GGs in chat for Metroid. That was certainly a race.
Alright, I don't think we're going to have time to get Metroid MST in here for an interview, so I think we're going to have to cut it here. Alrighty, so with that, I think we're ready to call it for the night. Thank you all. Thank you everyone for tuning in. So give our channels give our runners a follow, give our trackers a follow. Myself and Thoris, if you're feeling like it.
Of course, follow the rest of the speed gaming channels for more randomizers, more speed gaming, or maybe your favorite games will appear in a tournament coming up. We do, after all, have a new year coming up, so we will have new tournaments to discuss and race and see what kind of fun clips we can get out of it.
Alrighty, I've been Big Backed, he's been Thoris, and we'll see you next mission.
Yep, goodbye, everybody.